you're gonna teach me a song.
Yeah, telekinetic power. I'm just gonna...
Right.
Touch my finger. Yeah, you have it.
Okay. Doesn't work. Ciao fans! Welcome to the Sun Studio, a co-working studio. We do a lot of stuff here, and we do also interviews for friends, flatmates, and musicians, colleagues, saxophone player Loek van den Berg. Applause! So we are here to talk about your new album. That is the name, I don't remember the name. The name is?
Seafarer.
Seafarer. That is similar to the name of the previous album. That is?
Wayfarer.
So there is a connection, I guess. So what is the connection? Tell me about the connection. Tell me about this kind of genre. No? It's like a mix between world music and neoclassical. At least they say. At least you say. But tell me better. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay, so my album Wayfarer was released in 2022. I wanted to continue a bit the style on the next album, which is a very storytelling, melodic way of composing, and the first album was connected to travels and making you travel with the music, and I wanted to continue this in the next album in the same theme, the same sound, but diving even deeper in composition techniques and what I can ask from the band. We played a lot together, so it was nice to build as a band and to really know with the second album what my musicians are capable of, what their strengths are, how I can put that into music.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thematic development is literally also in certain melodies coming from the first album to the second. For example, the first song of the album, Seafarer, is called Seafarer. It started actually by me playing the melody of Wayfarer from the first album and changing it a bit around, and it becoming a whole new song with a whole new atmosphere. And I can show you a bit what I mean.
Show me.
So, this is Wayfarer. Just that melody, no?
Right? Maestro?
Then if you listen,
Okay.
it's the same kind of theme, but changed in a whole different atmosphere. Then it's coming back in Seafarer Part 2. So in that sense, there is like little quotes from the first album in songs of the second album, and even in between songs on the second album there is little quotes to other songs of the album.
And so it's talking about the travel, because you're also a travel lover. You like to travel. I know, because I don't know this guy. He's living with me, so tell me about your most inspiring travel, also maybe a song related to one of these travel, if you have it.
Yeah, we were very lucky to travel a lot last year, also with my music, and we went to one of the songs on the new album is called Bodrum Bolero.
Oh yeah.
And we went to Bodrum in Turkey to play a concert there, which was a very special concert because our drummer would fly on the day to Bodrum, but he missed his flight in Istanbul.
Oh.
So, and there was no flights because it was like a Islamic holiday, and there was no more flights. Everything was fully booked. So we got a call, and we were like, okay, we need to play as a quartet without drums. Then in the end, he went from Istanbul to a different airport an hour away, flew to an airport 3 hours from Bodrum, took a taxi, and he was gonna be late for sure. So we played the first set without drums, and I was hyping this audience that the drummer was on his way, and in the second set,
I think you did a good job, like hyping the.
It worked. It worked out. It was a very nice.
What
nice
you were
concert.
doing exactly? Don't worry, it's coming. Something like that.
Exactly, and it was nice because we found a way to make this. It was very fresh because we were very focused to make it work as a quartet without drums, and we never did it before. And then in the end, the second set started, and we heard the drummers in the house. So we started the song, and it was gonna end with a drum solo.
Okay.
And so we thought, okay, he will immediately come in and have his drum solo, and the audience is gonna go crazy. But he didn't come, so we were like looping this song for, I don't know, 10 minutes, waiting for him to come. And in the end, he just came just before the drum solo, and the audience went wild.
Wow.
And then we thought, okay, we need to call this song at least towards this memorable concert. So it's called Bodrum Bolero.
So this is one of the funniest story about.
Yeah, it was very stressful. Now it's
Now it's fun.
now it's nice to
like
talk about it.
always.
Yes.
It's always like this. I think 2 years ago I started to hear a new sound in our house, like very mellow sound and woody sound. And actually, you were playing a wood instrument made by wood. Very small, I said, but it's a flute. No, it's not a flute. It's a what is? And actually, it's a double reed instrument, right? Duduk, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about this instrument that is so annoying. No, it's very beautiful.
It's an Armenian instrument,
Okay.
and it has indeed a very own sound, which I heard and I was like, okay, that's super cool. I wanna play that more because I studied in Codarts, where you also were.
I was in Koda, so I don't remember.
Yeah, you
When?
skipped most lessons.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing a journalist today.
And there's also the world music department, and I got to know a lot of people from there. And I heard Duduk there, and I thought, okay, this would be super cool.
But from who? From Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy.
Lucy. Lucy,
Yeah.
another friend. We say hi to Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy, from France. So, Duduk.
Shout out to Lucy.
Ciao, Lucy.
So I started playing. For the last 2 years, I was practicing in the house.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, I'm ready to write one song for the next album on Duduk. Yeah, that's in the end, it's a protest march, a big protest song against what the world is going through at this moment. I went to some protests in the Netherlands because of how we treat the world and the climate change and Palestine and all the wars and how we treat each other. And I wanted to write a protest march.
The name of the song, you told me already? Or?
It's Languages of the Unheard.
Okay.
Yes. And this protest march turned into quite a sad march because I wrote it right after the elections, when also the Netherlands went a very different direction than I hoped for. And
Me too.
yeah.
Oh.
And I wrote this march for all the people that are unheard in this world and for the planet itself. And I thought duduk would be a very beautiful instrument to play this song with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The technique on this instrument is quite different. I think it's full of embellishment, I would say. The way of
Exactly, yeah.
playing the note is much more motorious. How do you say? It's not static like saxophone could be, but it's very. It's more like this. It's more like this. So it's very connected to Ottoman kind of music also.
Yeah, you have duduk in Turkish music,
Turkish
as
music.
well.
So-
It is indeed the sound of the East.
Yeah,
and-
quite old tradition.
Yeah, it's a very old instrument, and it's a very traditional instrument. It's not used a lot yet for crossover stuff, also because there's such a rich cultural background to this instrument that you need to be aware of what you're
Yeah,
playing
of course. Respect for every culture, otherwise
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to play. So in general, so and this instrument has not so many holes, so you have to cover the holes not completely to play other notes. So it's to do chromatic scales, for example. It's not like a saxophone; it's more easy. It's more as an European instrument.
But in the traditional music also there is no chromatic scale. You buy the duduk in a certain key and you change keys for different
Okay, so
songs.
it's like harmonica,
Exactly, yeah.
a bit like harmonica.
And in that sense you play in the key, and the songs are written in the key of the duduk, the traditional music. So you could do half holes, and it is
Has a
used.
potential.
And it's used as well as embellishments and and for certain skills, but you would never play bebop, or like you could.
You never know. You never know. Maybe you can
at some
bring a new way of playing it. So respect the tradition, but also evolve the tradition.
Yeah.
There is no evolution without a tradition. It's also a way of saying. Okay, let's go on. Let's talk about the names. I want to know about the names of these musicians. So Nathan Surquin, trombone from Belgium, right?
Yeah.
Is the guy that sometimes come to sleep our place because so nice that guy. So he has also a baby. It's amazing. Tell me about Nathan.
Yeah, he has a baby.
Yeah.
So he is very tired at the moment. But
I see him, but he's very strong
he's
man.
very energetic.
Yeah.
Always.
I like
he's
this.
tired. He's amazing. His attitudes during tours, like he's always the one lifting everyone.
Okay.
And
yes, such a big smile all the time. I mean, it's very important.
Yeah, when everyone is down, he will just be jumping around and make you feel good again. He is a very sensitive guy, and also in his playing, a very melodic player, very round, beautiful sound. I like the mix that we have in with the two horns. How we mix as a duo in the melodies. It's very blending, very nice. So and he's a very close friend. So
I mean, also that's important, of course. And the trombone is also plays usually a role of energetic. I mean, can be very versatile, but having a trombone is always it's not so common. Also, it's an instrument that it's not like a saxophone or I don't know, drums.
And I challenge him a lot because with trombone, if you need to play chromatics, the same as for duduk, which is like you have different positions. So certain positions are easy to play. And as a saxophonist, I write a certain style, which has, in my style, it's easy to play chromatics, so I also write that a lot.
Okay.
Or so I wrote some melodies for him, and he is like, it's a workout of.
So he doesn't complain, of course.
Well, in the new album we wrote one song, and he said like, "Man, this is not doable on trombone. This is impossible." And then he practiced, I think, every day for 2 months, and he made it work. So there's some dedication coming from the band, and that's great.
So he's in line of his energetic vibe. So that's he doesn't give up, and he practices also what is not made for a destructor of the instrument. So that's means a lot for Loek van den Berg Quintet. Let's go on. The Haseo Fish. I always have a problem with pronouncing the surname of Haseo. Friesacker. Okay, from Austria.
Yeah.
Okay, Haseo is a vibe.
It's a huge vibe.
Pianist.
Yeah, and he sings and he flutes. he whistles. Like I'm using Aseo for all my tryouts.
Okay.
First of all, he played amazing piano, and we listened to the same stuff, and we are super close. We counted, like we traveled a lot together, know each other very well. We have a very same way of looking at life. For everything that I want to try out, I go first to Aseo to check with him, to give my ideas, and then
The one that suggests you, how do you say it? The one.
Yeah, he's a very big inspiration also for me.
So you ask mainly him.
Yeah, because we live next to each other, first of all. Like,
Okay.
he's our neighbor. If I want to try out something, if I wrote something, it's always nice to do it with the piano because it has such a wide range of.
Yeah,
it
there's
can
everything.
cover-
Piano
there's
is
everything.
the.
Yeah. So
key.
if I need to try out something, then I can do it with him, and he's very willing and very involved in that sense.
Your ideas
Yeah.
and your idea go to cross each other easily. Insomma.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then I found out that he sings very well as well. So then I started writing melodies for him to sing, and then I was like, okay, but it could also be cool if you whistle, and if you. So every
The
album,
servant.
I give him new challenges to do, and and he's willing to do it.
It's very important to have like a soulmate in music. You help each other. It's very nice, so you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Also, I have a close friend that we work together very like in symphony. It's very important. And the drummer. No, before the drummer. Oh, the drummer is always the last one. Before the drummer, we have
The best bassist in the world.
The best bassist in it. That is.
Cas Jiskoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about his lines.
This lion.
The lines.
The lines.
The bass lines.
Yeah.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Like.
I write a lot of bass lines. I really love.
That's why I'm asking. Because,
Yeah.
I remember when you were composing, doing always the bass lines are the key. Bass is the
Yeah,
key.
I think especially in this album, I got so much into left-hand piano and bass together. I love this sound, and I got a bit addicted. So there is quite some of this in the album. Cas is the one that holds us together. You hear him always, even if he plays soft. It's such a clear tone, very stable and
In tune.
very in tune.
Very important.
Which is important, yes. And
For the bass, saxophone doesn't matter. The bass is.
yeah, saxophone is always out of tune. Yeah.
That's the beauty of our instrument.
Some stuff. Yeah, and that's great for our music because we have quite some crazy people as well that in the band that want to go all directions, and Cas you can always trust to get back to the bases. He's a very melodic thinker as well. Like in his bass lines, I write very melodic bass lines, and I write out a lot of stuff which he plays very beautiful, and also reacting in solos in a very subtle but melodic way to all the lines that we play. He's very amazing, and he's a very dry person to be around, like a very sweet guy. So,
Great.
yeah.
And so now we have the drummer.
Yes, we had a big drummer problem in this band.
It doesn't keep the tempo.
Well, they all kept tempo, but we searched for drummers, and I think we changed like 6 drummers over the last years. But
for
now we're stable with Willem Romers. Yeah, drummers was difficult. I have a very specific idea of what I want from the drums.
Okay.
A very specific way of composing and sound that and a lot of drummers are also, I give them a lot of freedom, but a lot of drummers are also very much into, I'm playing quite composed music, and there is a lot of freedom in that, and I want to be free in form but with some drummers that's not the same direction as they wanted to go, and others were, and then we changed over the years to others that were really busy or really that could not make it, and that's like there was always something, and in the end we came to Willem, and Willem, there's never a problem. So yeah, it's a very he is still. I have to ask him in a specific way to play, but he's very willing to learn to go that direction, to listen, and he understands what I want, where I want to go, and he likes it. So it's very beautiful to play with him, and and in that sense, like I'm finally happy with the drummer selection.
Great. So you come from Nijmegen. That is the only place with the hills in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, apparently. And that's amazing. I was skiing also once. Amazing.
Well, as a kid, I went with the sleigh down the hills, and
and then this happened. No. I mean, it's a very nice little town. How many?
City.
It's a city. How many people, more or less? 50,000, 60,000? No. Less.
More.
Nijmegen, more. Nijmegen.
I've no clue, actually. No, but more, for sure. How much is Rotterdam?
Rotterdam is 660,000, I guess, something like that. Or 70,000, 50,000. Yeah. 650,000.
Okay, then I think 250,000.
Okay, so it's a third of Rotterdam, more or less. Bit more.
But it's a guess, and I'm terrible at this, so maybe not.
I think it's much less, but let's see. I know more the Netherlands than him geographically.
We're gonna check this.
We're gonna check. We're gonna check. So the passage between these two cities. So from a small town to a quite big town. No, I mean it's not a metropolis Rotterdam, but I mean it's offering much more probably. That's why you moved.
It was a shock to be in a big city.
Because you were where you were living, in the fields with the cows and,
exactly.
and animals. I'm animals lover.
Yeah.
We will talk about later. And so
that's disgusting.
Zoophilia. Tell me a bit about this.
My life in the countryside.
But your house in Nijmegen is in a countryside or is inside the city? I don't know. I've never been in your place, so tell me.
No, it's in the city.
It's in the city. Is a normal? What kind of house is? An apartment?
It's like a rijtjeshuis.
You have a dog, a cat? I don't know.
I had a dog, yes.
Now it died.
Yeah, it's gone.
Of course, with this owner.
No, it was not my fault.
So, I mean, you were living in Nijmegen till 18 years old?
No, actually longer. I studied first in Arnhem, but I lived still at home at that moment, and I was the shy guy in Arnhem that practiced 8 hours per day, and then went back home and never joined any hangs or jam sessions.
You were also bullied when you were.
Yeah, I was
a bit.
No,
I was.
But I had a different atmosphere there, and then I was almost graduating. I was going to the 4th year, and I didn't know anyone. I never played a concert, or very little concerts. I didn't have any bands. I was super scared of playing in a jam session, and I was like, okay, but I'm graduating in 1 year, and I don't have anything to fall back to. So maybe I need to change. And I thought also Arnhem was a very nice place to be, but the city is not. It's the same as Nijmegen. There's not.
It's not a punch in the face, metaphorically. Like you needed something more stronger.
Yeah, something more vibrant and
vibrant.
And happy.
Vibrant is the adjective. I'm too rude, guys.
A punch in the face.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm just translating from Italian. We are more Latin people.
Yeah, Latin lover.
Latin lover. Yeah, if I speak Latin and I love it, I'm a Latin lover, right?
Now me again. So I forgot.
Yeah, so you moved for you needed
I needed a change. Yeah, so I thought, okay, I cannot, like if I stay here, nothing is going to change. So I need a change, and I went to Rotterdam, And I started in the third year in Codarts, and I thought, okay, if I jump in like halfway, probably it will be very difficult. Everyone has their groups, everyone knows each other, and I need to be very much there, not like I was in Arnhem. So I promised myself I would go to every jam session and play in every jam session, even though I found it
So
super
you broke
scary.
the ice.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. Good expressions coming from your side. Great. And then I went, and there was every day a jam session. So I went out every day. I met a lot of people. So there was kind of this change in personality. I was very stuck in one personality because you get a certain role in a city, and it's also difficult to get out of that role. And in Rotterdam, I was like, okay, I'm gonna change this. It's a new chapter, and they don't know me. I'm gonna have a new role. And I was very social, very playing a lot with everyone, meeting a lot of people, and it was kind of this change from studying for a couple of years the whole day
in your room,
darkness, and
I did it as well.
Yeah, you know the life,
the vibe,
and then going outside and focusing mainly on interaction, playing with each other, learning from that, starting bands, getting to know how to book concerts, and that was way more happening in Rotterdam, and that brought me to where I'm now with a lot of people that I met in the conservatory I still play with.
So you like to be here? You want to continue to live here?
Yeah, for the coming time, for sure. I miss sometimes the Nijmegen nature, the hills. I need some mountains in my life, man.
Of course. I mean, there are also the Dolomites, the Switzerland. I remember you went to Switzerland with your amazing car.
Yeah, man, it survived.
It survived with a Twingo over 2001. Amazing. I also use sometimes such a nice car. I mean, till go, let's go. Fine. Okay. As a saxophonist, I have to ask you some tricky question, very important. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this interview, is to understand from your side the relationship between playing what you studied and playing with the expression. When one goes over the other one and vice versa. I mean, how can you balance this kind of moods? Let's say moods. Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you balance? The way we study is like transcribing solos, to taking patterns, transporting all the keys. Sometimes when we play freely, sometimes we go into that pattern that maybe we could play something else. No, it's the repeating.
Everyone, it always stays as a challenge to not fall into common territory and play the same thing over and over again. And I also have it, but I think in school you get very much in one direction. In the end of Codarts, everyone sounds the same. I have the feeling.
Too academic.
Yeah, very
scholastic.
You play like all the great saxophonists of the past, but you don't have a known sound yet. And I think school is. You need this couple of years of training of just understanding all the tradition. But if you all sound like Parker and Sonny Stitt and Coltrane, then there's not really an own expression yet.
But you think this happens? Sorry for interruption. This happens mainly in European schools, or you think that American way of teaching is more? They go more deep into this composition. So to divide the musical cells, and in that way you can mix more in an original way.
I don't know so much about how they do it in American schools, but I think it's music from there. So if you play it there is some background to this music. Here we all play this because we're studying jazz. But we don't know the life.
So it's more a passive learning than an active learning like them.
So I think it's a different way in that sense and it's very important to know where this music came from and how they improvised in those ways. But I think for me, after I graduated, a lot of stuff started to change, and I started actually listening to the stuff that I really like myself. And instead of transcribing all the great saxophonists of the past, I also was like, okay, I'm gonna now transcribe Tigran Amashan, pianist that plays
Amazing.
Armenian
Yeah.
jazz, metal music, because that would be super cool to do that kind of stuff on saxophone. And I started listening more to what I wanted, started to know also better what I wanted to sound like, and create my own way. And I think getting out of school has helped a lot in me trying to figure that out, and also by composing myself and playing in that sense in a different form than the jazz standards. Helped a lot to find my way of playing.
So we can say that the form of composition that you adopt, or in general the music that you listen, is more European.
Yeah,
It's connected more to this continent than America.
it's indeed European jazz, but also a lot of world music that I like. We talked about the duduk.
Also pop.
Yeah, pop music, singer-songwriters, folk, and Armenian music, flamenco music. I love all
Flamenco.
these different styles, and I'm looking in my music more to the connection to those styles. And always when someone asks like, okay, what, you should go to New York, there's the jazz is happening, and I would love to, because it's amazing.
It's an amazing experience. I've been there. It's incredible.
But my heart somehow feels more to go to Armenia and check what this traditional music.
The older tradition.
Yeah, and a whole different way. It's not, and that touches me at the moment more. And I think that's also something that I can make my own or change. If I start playing like the next Charlie Parker, then it's not gonna change anything.
So another question that I want to do is, do you miss words, lyrics in your music? Like, I mean, we also with instrumental music, we communicate, of course, a lot. But maybe you miss the lyrics. You want to communicate with the words, with the language that everybody... Have you think about this in the future, maybe an album?
I'm very...
To sing, because you can sing, I guess, a bit.
Me?
Yeah, you can.
You heard me.
I heard it. Or maybe poetry in the... whatever, you like poetry, I guess.
Yeah, there is its own way. Like, for me, instrumental music is on itself very touching, and I find it somehow, and I heard this from some other people as well, I don't know if this is a very common thing, very hard to listen to lyrics.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm a saxophone player or I'm always busy with melodies, the first thing that I focus on is melody, even if there is a singer. So to actually understand what he's saying, and I really have to put my 100% focus on that, because the first thing I hear is just melody.
Of course.
And the pop songs that I like are also, or the like Sufjan Stevens or This Is the Kid, they're all great melody writers, and compositionally very beautiful, and that is what I appreciate from these songs which have lyrics, and not necessarily the lyrics itself, even though if I dive into it and I start reading or really listening to them, it's interesting, it gives another depth. But I think with instrumental music you can say so much, and for me that comes more natural to say it in an instrumental way, with melodies, with atmospheres, with contrasts, and I get more touched by that. Yeah.
And during your concert, you like to talk with the audience? You like to tell stories? Apart from the episode that you told me about the drama I was missing, but in general, are you one of them, or you like just to play and say, hey, hi, ciao, hey, how are you, hi,
hey,
and then you play? The connection with the audience.
I think it's very important.
Very important.
And I was not very good at it.
Because you were shy, like you said.
Yeah.
But people grew.
I learned a bit, because before I would be playing a song and then halfway the song I would already be like, oh fuck, I need to announce the next tune, what I'm gonna say, and I would not be in the music just because I was scared to talk. Now I'm getting more fluent. Still, it's not I think my strongest point, and also music talks a lot for itself. But I noticed that it's very nice to involve the audience in a way between the songs, which makes them even more connected to the music. So I like to talk a bit, not too much.
So related to this, are you afraid of silence?
Ooh, what a question.
For example, silence between one tune and the other one. Or maybe it happened that you don't know what to say because maybe you didn't play like you wanted to play. So this kind of situation, because I feel also involved. I also feel it sometimes when I play. I start to say a lot of bullshit, like in this interview. So I cover this silence. But how do you do it? Meditation. And people look at you while you breathe and they wait. They don't say anything. No tomatoes, no lettuce, no.
No, it's okay, yeah.
Okay. Lettuce. They throw lettuce in Italy where they were throwing...
Do that when you're silent.
Vegetable. Where they didn't like you. There is a Lucio Dall'Es, famous songwriter, Italian songwriter. In the beginning of the career, people didn't like him because it was so new. It was also a bit jazzy. And they will start to throw tomato to him, like cauliflowers. Yeah,
But it's nice.
It's nice.
Like he can make a salad after.
Of course, it's better than throw animals. It's more like for the environment.
Throw animals.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
So,
what was the question?
Yeah, the question was, what's your relationship with the silence? With the silence that is related to the concert that you do, also related to the nature around you. If you go to, I don't know if you like to go to get inspiration in the forest, and so the silence is where the music born, I guess. Also.
Exactly. I like silence. I went on a course, Vipassana course of 10 days, no talking, no
10 days.
sound, 10 days.
Oh yeah.
And everyone that I told was like, but no talking, so much silence, you're gonna get crazy. And that was not what I was scared about. And also in the end, I loved being silent for 10 days. And indeed, what you say, like from silence, the music is born. Everything that breaks the silence is, of course, something that you will focus on, and where you can tell something with. And every time you leave a silence or a rest, will give more impact to what you just said.
I like when you phrase also, no, with the instrument.
Exactly, yeah.
When you are phrasing, it's important to be silent sometimes, and so give a breath, not to the improvisation.
Like talking. If you keep on talking and you don't stop and blah 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 blah,
exactly,
everything you said will be forgotten.
Not everyone understands this basic rule, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's say rule. Nature rule.
Yeah, and in that sense, nature is indeed a very good school for music, for everything, and a big inspiration also. And silence, in that sense, I think there's always room to learn about how to deal with silence, and I'm trying to be aware of leaving breaks while playing, having calm and silence in myself when I announce, being aware of myself, being aware of of what is happening inside of me with the audience, the connection, where I can feel to add something. Silence is something very powerful, I think.
I'm agree with you. So let's come back to the composition. That is the key of this interview, one of the keys. Also because you won a prize in composition last year, I guess, or 2 years ago, about the best composition in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's like a Grammy Award for Netherlands. How is the name of...
No, the Dutch jazz competition, I won the composition prize, and the Grammy is the Edison.
Edison,
yeah.
Okay, Edison. That Edison is also Edison is a character, no? As for the lamp. So But is a combination, is a coincidence, or that is called like that? Because you have ideas, so you have a lamp.
Ah,
It is.
man, you're a genius.
So it's a composition is a creativity. So creativity is also can be. We have to investigate, right? So
I like your thoughts.
thank you very much. So let's go. Also, I want to know technically what kind of program you use. Like, or if you write by hand and writing, or
No.
with the computer. With the computer.
Yeah, I use my computer with Sibelius.
Okay.
And I use my phone recorder app
For the ideas.
For the ideas.
Okay.
And I record like on top of each other. It sounds terrible. Like I record some idea on the piano, and then I play saxophone on it, and then I play a second line on it. So I'm super bad at this. There's probably an app to put them all together, and I can actually. But what I do is I record it on my phone, the piano, then I send it to my laptop, then I play it on the laptop on my speaker, then I record it on my phone again, on top of the last thing I play saxophone, and then I do like 5 overdubs till you don't hear shit anymore of everything.
For the happiness of the sound engineers.
Yes. But then at least
you have your own way for sure. So when you double your voice is because you want to do the part of the trombone, for example.
Yeah, I already try to arrange a certain idea in my head in a very basic way with the recording, and then most of the time it starts with one idea, and then I write it down in Sibelius, this first idea, and from that idea automatically a lot of new things come up, and I get inspired by what I just wrote, and then I'm like, but this could go there, and this. And from when I wrote it in Sibelius, it's very important for me to write it down. Like if I start composing in one day, in the evening I need to write it down in Sibelius, because if I leave it on my phone as it is, then I will not look back at it. Like as soon as I write it down, I know it's gonna be a composition.
Exactly. So it's very important to write down. Also, when you, in general, when you have an important thought, you write it down. So we say scriptamanent means everything is written, stays there. Scriptamanent is Latin. It's Latin. I want to show that I'm a Latin lover, of course. It's the only thing that I learned in the school. So I should learn. I should have learned all the translation stuff. But I was very bad in school. You can see from my English. So.
What?
By the way, sorry for my English in general. I mean, it's the first time that I do an interview. Maybe the second time. So I'm trying my best, and I want to continue with talking about these compositions. So you have some ideas that you get inspired from someone. Are you afraid to copy someone, or you don't care? Tell me about it.
I think we're all copying a lot from everything that we heard in the past. The ways what we transcribe, what we played, what we listened to will come back in some way in your composition. So I'm not so scared of that if you make it your own. And sometimes also it becomes very much in the style of someone else. For example, I have one composition on the new album, Samnaya. And I had a period in my life that I was I was quite angry at myself for opening up and getting hurt, and I had this very angry feeling, and I listened to Tigran, this metal pianist, for non-stop, because he was just like smashing the drums, and it was very satisfying to feel with my anger. And I was like, okay, I want to write a tune like this to express what I'm feeling at this moment, because it really connects to listening to Tigran and this more metal jazz vibe. So I started writing this song, and it became very inspired by Tigran, because it was also the idea in the first place. And Samnaya is Hamashan, the letters of Hamashan renamed, like replaced in the word. You understand?
Yeah. So it's called the acronym.
Ah, yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's where it comes from. And even though we made something, because it's we are playing it as a band with a different experience, different sound, still it's in a certain style which has been done by Tigran, but it is also a part of my life that I wanted to show with this song, and we do something of our own with it. So I'm not so scared of inspirations like that. And if it turns out to be connected to something else, why not? It was somehow part of me, even though it was someone else's music, and I wrote something out of myself.
Yeah, the most important thing, like Pino Daniele always said, is the feeling, the emotion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if well, there are only 12 notes. So I mean, in 700 years, for sure, there is a copy of the copy, but important is the feeling. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so. And I wanted to give the tribute to Tigran in that sense, because, and that's why I chose the title. Like,
so honest, of course. When you compose, do you feel like it happened that you felt like frustrating because you could not continue your composition? How you deal with that? Always with the silence and meditation, or traveling? I don't know.
Yeah.
I cannot finish a song. Let's go to Mexico.
That's kind of my way out. Yeah. I think inspirations come from different places. And going to concerts, for example, listening to other musicians play, going to travel, being in nature, having silence, then something new can be born. But also, I think there's a lot of issue with just accepting your own ideas. Before I could take like half a year for one composition.
Oh, wow.
And I was super perfectionistic. I had one project where all of a sudden I had to write 3 compositions in 1 week.
Very challenging.
And I was like, okay, normally this takes me 1.5 years. How should I do this?
Okay.
But then I accepted, because I was in this state, I could not doubt the ideas that came. So I just accepted everything that I wrote down. And if I look back at those compositions that I wrote, they're not worse than the ones that took me half a year to write.
Okay.
And that got me a bit over the idea of being too perfectionistic. Or it's not about perfectionism, because that's still there, but about doubt, I think. To just accept what you wrote and go with that, and trust yourself that every idea that you have, you can make nice in some way, even though it's not about if it's a nice idea, it's about how you work with it in the end. So that helped me a lot now to be faster in composition and actually get inspiration faster. But still, if I lose it, there's moments that I'm frustrated, and then what helps is indeed listening to music, meeting friends, doing traveling, being in nature, like all the other stuff that is important in my life.
So in general, having deadlines is also a key, because if you are waiting for your composition, okay, the perfectionism and stuff, but if you don't have deadlines, you get lost. So
I can be exactly.
So it's important you have that day. In that day, I want to do a composition, whatever it is. At least teach you a lot. What's your relationship with time? Are you afraid of time? What time is it? 15:54.
Well, as a kid, I had one recurring nightmare from very young, like 3.
You were beaten by a watch.
A witch? A watch?
A watch at the time. No? This was the nightmare. Cut.
No, it's great. So, I was like waking up every night as a kid, crying, not getting out of my nightmare. I was awake, but I could not. I still saw stuff and.
So.
Man, you're bringing some childhood traumas here.
Yeah.
You're hitting me with a watch. So, and this was about time.
Mm.
This nightmare. I was afraid of time passing too slow and not having control.
Too slow, not too fast.
Yeah.
So it's a nightmare if the time is slow. But if you think about when you are 30, maybe if it's lower the time, maybe it's better. No, I don't know.
If you're 30, the time is better when it's slower because you're almost dying already.
No, almost. Come on. No.
No, I don't know.
I mean, in general, when you are younger, the time is slower. Then, I mean, it's a sensation, psychological.
Is it?
Psychological.
Is the time slower?
Yeah, it's, because you want to grow. You want to be. I want to be 18 when you are 13. Then you reach
like this,
25,
okay.
and then the years goes fast.
Yeah.
But the time is always the same. But psychologically, also because you are more busy, no?
Yeah.
I guess.
What
In
was
your
the
case, in my case, maybe not.
What was the question?
The question.
If I'm afraid of time.
Yeah. So you had the nightmare.
Yeah, I was afraid.
Okay, and then the time passed.
The time passed, and now I don't have the nightmares anymore.
Okay.
But I think you mean time manage, or like how I deal with time management.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the more philosophical part.
Yeah, okay.
To pretend to be philosophical.
Time doesn't exist.
Exactly. Da, 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 da. I'm agree, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the we say that this is nice. Life is a little holiday from the eternity.
Ooh.
Very deep.
Who says this? Davide Romeo.
No.
Quotes Davide Romeo, musician.
You can put as how do you say?
Quote?
A quote in your next album.
Time what?
No, life is a little vacation. Life is a little vacation from the eternity.
That is very true.
Yeah.
What do you think happens after we die?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard it. But I don't know if I still remember the story.
We start to say bullshit, right?
So there is one part of the brain that registers time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy that was driving his car, and this part of the brain shut down.
Oh.
Which made time pass in a different speed for him in his brain.
Interesting.
So he saw everything in certain slower than it was actually happening. So he was living in a different time and actually seeing time passing differently than other people. Maybe that's true.
And
I think we have a very toxic relationship with time in the West. It's always about production, and productivity relates to time, and time is money. And if you go to the East, then these countries or Latin countries, they work really different with time. Even in Italy already, yeah.
Of course.
It's about, in general, about genuine connection to people, to something.
Okay.
And that's where I want to put my time.
Knowing new people also.
Yeah, and also in music, like doing something with your heart, then the time is well used, and I want to put time in this.
Yeah.
And this is not only music for me, like music, a lot of time, I don't know if you feel this as well as a musician, when I go to my like my family or people that I haven't seen for a long time, because they know I'm a musician, the only conversation you have is what they ask is like, you're how is the concerts going, and you're amazing, you're doing very well, you're playing music, and it's all about this, like that's my identity. And every time I get a bit frustrated, like because I don't connect in this way to music. Music is a big part of me, but it's not my identity. And I have a lot of other stuff, other art, other like socially stuff that I want to do, there's a lot of beautiful things next to music, and to relate there's a big passion for music, and music is a great form to express yourself, and a big part
It's
of
a
it.
way of communicate something, of course.
Yeah, music has a relation to all these other sides in some way as well, that you need to listen to your other musicians. It's all about complementing each other, creating something together. There's this communication with the audience, a connection between the audience members itself, and to create something like that in a concert is very special. And I think that connection is also in other aspects of life, and that's there's a lot of different things that are important for me to find this connection.
So we can say that we are in the end of this very inspiring interview with Loek van der Merwe at the Sun Studio, and I want to leave you with two questions. How you see yourself in 5, 10 years? If there is a goal, or you just follow the flow, or you have like a very big dream?
I like what I'm doing, and I hope I can still do that in 10 years. And
So album.
Yeah.
Nature.
Animals. Yeah, like to be able to play my own music, to connect with people, to travel with my music is one of the most special things, to go abroad, connect in that way to the new culture, to learn from there, which I'm lucky enough to do more often lately. We had a lot of tours in the last year to outside of the
Spread
Netherlands.
your music everywhere.
Spread. So I hope I can continue that, and that's the most beautiful thing. And in 10 years, I'm also learning more to not get so much in a... I like to go with the flow and see where.
So, are you hoping being married, children?
In 10 years,
having children?
Married, I don't think I will do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the point so much. I'm not against it. If I find someone...
You never know.
Yeah.
We always never know
You're
about this
listening and
topic.
you want to get married, don't hesitate still.
Don't hesitate. But, and in general, have kids?
Also, if I... Like at the moment, for sure not. If somehow the situation comes where my life makes place for this to happen and I feel it, then
Okay, so
it would be very beautiful, I think. But if it doesn't happen,
it's fine. So it's basically following the flow, like we said.
Yeah.
Basically. So last question, and we say bye to everyone, to the Sun Studio lover, to musical lover, and to I'm praying. So, like Marzullo, that is a journalist in Italy, ask yourself a question and answer it.
I'm trying to ask myself every day if I feel that I'm doing well and what I love, and if I'm going the right direction. And I think to get that in your head and have a little bit of feedback every day of like, I'm being conscious about like, how do I actually feel with what I'm doing? That would, that brings me a lot to, to know how I feel myself. And I think I'm in a good direction. I'm doing what I like. I try to learn, and
so the answer is positive. We would say.
Yeah, we're always learning, and but that's the whole part of the question. Even if I'm doing not good, I think it's good.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much to Loek van den Berg. Was amazing. Thank you for the thanks for the interview. Loek van den Berg, Seafarer.
Buy my album.
Buy his
Buy
album. Buy his album. You can find the link in the description of this video. Directly connected to the label. The label name of the label is
Zennes Records and Bertolt Records. On the website of Zennes, you can buy the album. I think also on the record on the website of Bertolt.
both the CD and vinyl, right?
Yes, or you mail me and I don't have to pay a percentage to the label. Great.
Good advertising
I
for
hope
the
the
label.
label is not watching the end of this video.
Thank you very much. Bye. Ciao. From the Sound Studio.